I have 4 playoff teams from 2023 that I think will miss the playoffs in 2024, and a 5th that I can build a compelling argument for. I'm not willing to predict, but I think that they could. I'll start with the 4 I think will.
I gotta get the pen out now. When you do these lists, I gotta write them down. All right, what do you have?
First playoff team from last year that will miss the playoffs this year. Respect to Mike Tomlin, the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Always counting the brother out.
Odds makers have them overwhelmingly favored to miss the playoffs, minus 250.
It's amazing.
Look, Hoodie, you remember last year when I said I didn't think the Vikings would go back to the playoffs? The biggest reason why was because they lived in one-score games and won them at an impossible rate. Last year, Steelers 8-2 in one-score games. We assume that they're a little better on offense, but I think they have 2 quarterbacks that really can't coexist. And they have the problem of Cincinnati might not be dead this year.
2 African-American quarterbacks.
Is that what you're saying, Shay?
On Abe Lincoln's birthday.
Is that what you're saying, Shay? The 2 brothers can't exist.
At the end of the day, I am counting out a brother. Yeah.
Well, that's like every day around here. Here's Shay Norland.
Wow.
Jay Moore knows. Go ahead.
Oh, don't you? We have a good relationship back here. We work well together.
You heard the response from Jay Moore on that response. Go ahead.
Jay Moore's locked in.
Yeah.
It's like the scene from The Social Network.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't talk to him right now. He's wired in.
I never saw that. Sorry.
It's one of the movies of the decade, the 2010s.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
It's fantastic. I actually think you'd enjoy it. Cappy, any opinion on me saying the Steelers will not make the playoffs?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I do not think they'll make the playoffs.
Again, not a surprise.
2 African-American quarterbacks.
Don't believe they can coexist, and don't believe that the guy at the top can get the job done. Well,
I just think they're in too tough a division.
Is that not America in 2024?
Well,
good job.
Are they better than Baltimore? The answer is no. Are they better than Cincinnati? The answer is no. Are they better than Cleveland? Now, again, the Lotion King at quarterback better be able to stay healthy and stay on the field. But that roster's freaking loaded. Top 5 roster in the NFL.
Well, all I can tell you is
dead last, Steelers.
Yep, and in the playoffs.
No chance.
Okay. I mean, listen, I might as well be Mike Tomlin around here. You guys count me out every morning. But I'm still here, standing.
Still standing.
And
winning.
Doing well.
Winning. Winning.
Here's Shay Norland.
The second team that will miss the playoffs made it last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Back-to-back division champs in the NFC South at a combined record over 2 seasons of, wait for it, 17-17. That won you 2 straight division titles, dead on 500.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck doing that again, especially with a resurgent Atlanta that's better than you in every facet on the field. You have a new offensive coordinator. You have a rookie center snapping the ball to Baker Mayfield. The Bucs will not be back.
Well, we spoke so highly of Baker, did we not?
We did.
We spoke highly of Baker, turning it around.
He's a solid football player. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm right there with you. I don't think Tampa makes the playoffs.
All right, that's fair, because someone's got to get there.
I think Atlanta does.
Sure. All right, what's next?
Here's where Cappy's going to get mad at me. And this one's a little controversial potentially. Dallas Cowboys are not making the playoffs this year.
Is CeeDee Lamb playing?
I don't know.
Yes, he is.
I'm sure he's going to, but there's just so much going on between having to pay Parsons, having to pay CeeDee, having to pay Dak. Mike McCarthy's in a lame duck year. You're bringing in a new defensive coordinator. Dan Quinn left. Nobody has won that division in consecutive seasons since 2004. The Eagles, could they be disaster again? Maybe, but I think they're going to be pretty good. And the NFC is better. The NFC North has improved. It's going to be tougher to get the wild card spot. I'm not picking Dallas to make it.
Dallas is making the playoffs. Come on.
I mean, they get Diggs back, the corner. That's a huge, huge addition coming back from an ACL.
One of the most overrated players in the league.
He's still their best cover corner.
He's not a very good cover corner. He's their best ball hawk.
Okay. He's still a good football player.
He's just poking you in the ribs. Don't take the cheese, Cap. Stand 10 toes down. Tell him. Your guy in the league says what about the Dallas Cowboys? What does he say? You're scouting the league. What does he say about the Cowboys?
They got a loaded roster.
There you go. Tell him.
I'm going to say Dallas makes the playoff.
Yeah, of
I'm not
course.
telling you they're winning the Super Bowl.
No.
I didn't even make a bet on them.
Not yet. But no, Dallas makes the playoffs. Giants make the playoffs. Okay, they're not going anywhere.
Nope.
Philly's in. Washington out.
Right.
Okay, Bear in. Lion in.
Mm-hmm.
Packer
Probably in.
in. Falcons in.
49er in.
49er in. And Dallas finds their way in there too.
Probably right. I'm going to say Dallas is in the playoffs, Shay.
Here's Shay Norland.
Final team I'm predicting will miss the playoffs is the LA Rams.
Oh, wow.
Last season, they were the single healthiest team in football. Not going to happen twice in a row.
You're probably right.
When one of the players with injury history is your quarterback, I'm not predicting 2 consecutive healthy seasons for Matthew Stafford. He was very good last season. Their offensive line still left some things to be desired for me. It hasn't been fully shored up. You've lost Aaron Donald. He retired.
So, Shay, who gets the Y next to their team at the end of the season? Who is that? Is that the Seahawks?
Is that wild card or division title? The Y?
The Y is the clinched wild card.
So if you're asking me to pick the 7 teams that go in, I think it's Detroit, Chicago, Green Bay, San Francisco,
Yep.
Philadelphia.
49ers, you said, right? 49ers?
Yeah.
And
Seattle.
Seattle. Okay. So 2 teams out of the West. One of them is Seattle. So Seattle replaces the Rams in
I
that
like
spot
Mike
for you.
McDonald a lot. It gets tough when you're picking that 7th team because it really could be anybody.
I'm going to be there. Absolutely. Love the doobies.
And you're starting to see
what?
That was a good one. You're starting to see a lot of guys go down with injury. We just heard DeAndre Hopkins yesterday went down for Tennessee. Who else? The other one? Houston just lost one of their guys to a PED violation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a lot going on around the league with injury and suspension.
Okay. I can agree with some of those, but I'm always going to hold out hope that Tomlin finds a way and Justin Fields will lead them to the playoffs. That's what's going to happen, pal. Justin turns the clock back. Actually, there is no clock to turn back. He'll just be.
What is he turning back?
Actually, I take that back. The wrong phrase.
He's going back to college?
I'll take that fine. I'll put a fine in the fine bucket.
Does Fields have eligibility remaining?
That was the wrong phrase. I used the wrong phrase there. That coffee is swimming this morning in me.
12 playoff teams in college. Now we can make it.
Yeah, I did. That was the wrong thing to say. He will be better under Tomlin because Tomlin will have him under fire. How about that?
We said the same thing about Mitch, and I told you the other day, Tomlin is going to walk into his GM's office next spring and go, okay, that's it. We're done with rejects from Chicago. That's it. Trubisky, Fields, I've had enough.
And that's our look around the NFL.
I teased a 5th team that I'm not predicting, but I think you can build a case for. I want to make sure I get it in. It's the Green Bay Packers.
Oh.
Is Jordan Love the guy who was terrible in the first half or the guy who was the best quarterback in football in the second half? Or is he somewhere in the middle? If he's somewhere in the middle, a lot's got to go right. I still think they downgraded going from Aaron Jones to Josh Jacobs. Defensively, they should be better, but we have to see it on the field. And the division is a beast.
Well, brother, let me tell you something. If you have them out of the playoffs, the Bear can be able to take care of that on January 5th. Maybe that's the game, Cap, in which the Bear knock out the Packers.
Oh, can you imagine that?
Man, if you don't think the Packers will make the playoffs, maybe the Bears will have something to say about it at the end of the season.
Yeah, I would like to put in my request right now with the great Keith Williams upstairs. May I please have tickets, because I know we have some, to the Bear at Packer game next January at Lambeau.
Might want to send an email.
I'd rather use a 50,000 watt blowtorch. and I need passes to the Tundra Trio so I can get my pregame swerve on. Let's go, because we're going to the playoffs.
And that's our look around the
Life's
NFL
about to be different around here.
on ESPN 1000 and the ESPN Chicago app. We'll talk baseball with Jesse Rogers, and that comes your way next, right here on the home of the Bears and the White Sox, ESPN 1000.